Respect Asha. He's joined the right
Well, no,
side
no,
of
no, no.
history.
That's not what he told me. Don't.
That's that.
That's not
Let's
what he
pump the
said.
brakes.
Yeah,
Let's pump
that's
the
not what he
brakes real
told
quick.
me. Oh shoot,
Let us pump the brakes.
that's funny. Nah, I mean, I definitely like I gotta just pick your brain in general stuff, and let me just make sure that no one spoils anything because I want to make sure that they
I'm
know.
not. I don't even have the stream up, so it's fine.
Okay, so just I mean, still behave in the chat, but I kind of want some of your just general opinions. I want you to start wherever you want to start with the series so far. Did I?
I'll get.
Did we overhype? Even though you haven't gotten everything.
I can't speak on that until I've caught up with season 3. To be honest,
that's fair.
So far the indication I'm getting is no, but I'm gonna reserve judgment on that front until I'm actually like caught up. Mm-hmm. I guess I'll get the first initial criticisms out of the way.
Go ahead. It's not perfect.
No, but it's mainly like in terms of art and fights, just because the fights don't happen a lot, so you gotta have to like pick and choose your battles on that front.
It's so funny because if you ever watch my season 1 review, you'll hear me whine about that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But yeah, art wasn't good. I think in particular fight scenes. Although I think Kurigam goes out of her way to make the Sura forms look amazing, which I think they consistently are. Whenever, at least for Rakshasa and up. But other than that, like, you hit me with the questions and I'll answer because I'll think of it. Because you probably have it more structured than I do right now.
First of all, I want your kind of opinion in the beginning. Like, you think it's a bad start, slow? You think it's just a slow start? Like, you just gotta be patient. Like, because it's kind of like a lot of series. The beginning is pretty harshly criticized. It's like most people say it doesn't get interesting until a certain part of season 2, and I kind of get what they mean because that's when I would say it hits its stride. But I don't find the first season stuff boring. I just,
I think the first season. You're just talking about the first season as a whole, or like the first beginning chapters.
In a whole, and then I'll get some specific stuff.
No, I think the first season's at the bare minimum good. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't really. Is that my dog freaking out? Fuck that bitch! I'm gonna keep talking. But okay, but I think it's very good. I think. I told a couple other people this when I first started reading, but 30 chapters in, there was already 6 characters that I, at the bare minimum, liked when I had first started reading it. And all of those characters have been consistently in my top 10 since they were introduced.
That's kind of it's kind of like that. Like, I was gonna ask, like, so my first favorite character was actually Airi, when she was fighting the Suras in the first season, and she kind of lured him away. I'm like, hold on, I don't know why she was just moving me. That was actually my first favorite character. Like, what character would you say you fell in love with first? If you
Brilith. Okay. Easy claps, Brilith.
Oh, but that is my goat. That is my goat. But I feel what would you rock with it? Was it kind of like how she was rocking for Atera? Was it the Agony stuff? Was it the combination?
It was 100% the Agony stuff. Although I'd say initially it was the Agony stuff, but the Atera stuff came when Sagara and all her clan members pulled up, like when she was trying to really hold down the fort in that regard. That impressed me heavily, and I was like, okay, she's not just damselish when her god isn't there. It was good to see that she actually was able to do some shit in that regard.
Okay. I'm trying to remember. Okay, so I want your opinion on Lise as a lead. I know that it's a series that actually is not afraid to jump to other characters, but what do you think of her as a character, as a lead, all those things?
Kubera?
Thus far, yeah. Yes.
I think she's a legitimately very good to great character as of the end of season 2. Mm-hmm. And she's my second favorite character.
Speak on it.
Speak on
it.
I think first season she's good.
Or
serviceable. Like, I think she's done very well, like sort of middle of the pack-ish in terms of characters you can like in the first season. Mm-hmm. I think she really hits her stride post drawing sort of Ray, but pre Hide of whatever the specific name of the item is that Kali's associated with. It was hide of something, but I can't remember the full name of it.
Oh,
I know what you're
what
talking
is it
about.
called?
I don't know. You know me.
Her cloak. Height of
It was hide of chaos, destruction,
yeah.
binding, some shit like that. But
The
once-
height of
once
bondage.
she draws the-
Christ, I never
yeah.
remember that. I never remember it.
whenever she first draws the sword, and then I think I really started vibing there once she had that day with God Kubera.
Okay.
And started interacting with him afterwards. And since then, she's
Idiot Smithy. What do they call him? Bob. I know it's Bobo Kim, the other one, but what do they call him? Like Idiot Smithy or something like that? Idiot Smith.
Yep.
Yeah.
some shit like that.
Yeah. Okay. Because I don't want to rush into season 2 stuff, and I really want to pick his brain out. So I'm trying to like keep it. Like,
Yeah, I
smart.
think Lee's is very good.
Okay. Maruna, my best chicken. Thoughts on Maruna?
I see the potential for
Okay.
greatness. He somehow, despite not really being that active in the story, retained top 10 for me. And I think it was mainly because of if he had not had the interactions with Yuta and Semfati, and also the restored interactions with Gandharva at the end of season 2, I don't think he would have been in my top 10. I think Teo would have kicked him out, personally. And he's still very close to Teo Rakan in terms of that 10th spot for me.
It's crazy because that's the character that I like the quickest. I call it Teo, but Teo Rakan, like the way that she just came in, she just said, "I'm the priestess of chaos." She was making food. I was like, hold on, she's called. I love her because like I took and like when she saw Gandharva's reflection in I can't remember what it's called, but the pool, the blood pool, and she kept
reflection.
her composure. I was like, hey yo, she is the one. And for me, hey, listen, man. I don't think Gandharva is a poorly written character. That's something that I consistently make sure I repeat all the time. I think he's a good character for the story. I personally hate him. He's a bozo. And that is the major reason why. Because he let her die. And then, when are you frozen tear and cry after? Fuck you. That's way too late.
Hater.
The rapier in her neck broke my spirit. My heart was broken. I couldn't believe it. Nah. He's trash.
Wait, but you out here repping Asha?
Of course,
okay.
Bro.
Okay.
she never hit her attention. As you know what, Godhard was an asshole, so fair enough. But I had to I think Asha. Like I don't want to get there yet. I want to get there yet. Wait, we on Asha. We'll get there. We'll get there.
But yeah, I agree. I think Teo is easily the character that you can like in terms of likability, being very quick for a character. She there was many moments in the story where I was like, damn, she really creeping up on my top 10. But there would always be something that another character would get that would keep making them move up.
Mm-hmm.
And then really, after she died, she took a heavy backseat in season 2. And I also didn't like that she got amnesia. I'm not going to lie.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could have easily done the conflict that's inevitably going to happen between her and Gandharva without it.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like Teo. Honest to God.
I meant to ask you this. How do you like? What do you that she's a fighter, even though she's a chaos priest? Do you like that she's a fighter?
Yeah, because it makes total sense that Priestess of Chaos is a fighter because they can't use magic really well because Kali's not there.
Yeah.
So I think it works. I think I'd like to see more of it because Theo didn't really get to fight. But that's whatever.
It was sad. All right, we can cut all the. We need to talk about the 6-dimensional chess player.
Oh my God.
While everyone else in that universe was playing with sticks and pine cones. Asha, our hero. All right, listen, man. Listen. The whole time. We were getting to that part. So crime and punishment is when like I really think this series like there's like the Hatiyama stuff where you see an older Kubera. I'm like, okay, all right, but she ought to be fine and we'll choose in the future, you know what I'm saying? And certain things about Asha was coming out. Actually, before I even get to that, could I ask your opinion on Saha? Because Saha, I think, is actually a really good character, despite how
I like Saha.
Okay.
I gave Miles a list of characters, and he along with Teo, Mirha, and Shess were honorable mentions for me for characters that didn't hit my 10 spot.
Yeah.
And I didn't really get to say this for finishing for Maruna either, but their characters, all 4 of them or 5 of them, I think are characters with heavy potential, which is why, and for all the other 9 characters above them, I think that there's potential plus things that they've realized in the story.
Do you have
like
a personal character ranking right now?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Give me your top 10.
Okay. Let me find tweet.
Yeah, I got it pulled up.
Yeah, so I'll go from bottom. So
I got
honorable mentions. Honorable mentions. It's Teo Rakan, Mirha Simon, Sahon, and Chess for that spot. Then it's Maruna, God Kubera, Asha Rahiro, Ran Sairofe, Brilith Ruin, Kasak Rajov, Gandharva, Agni, Kubera Lees, and Yuta.
Clan. Vitra Clan.
Yuta is top 1, but Lees is almost neck and neck with him.
Listen, when Yuta transformed to his 3rd stage,
oh my God.
he got horny.
I loved it.
He threw the scarf around here, and Kasak's like, "Yo, read this book." He is a wildin' over there. He's wrapping his meat around your neck. I said, "Yo, that's so, that's so crazy." I honestly, I really enjoyed Yuta throughout the 2nd season so much, bro. Like honestly, that shit was so funny.
Yuta was, I'd say, in terms of characters that shot up rankings for me, other than Teo, he was the fastest. It was unbelievable how quickly I liked him.
Okay. So mine is Brilith, Asha, Teo, Lila, Maruna, Ran, Agni, Kasak, like Heidi, like generally speaking. Like I could mix it up. I could mix them a bit, but the top 3 are pretty cemented. Like Brilith, Asha, and Teo are my favorite characters.
Yeah, I know Brilith is a character that's going to get a lot more in season 3. So I'm waiting to see that. But I'll say for season 1, Brilith and Agni stayed top 1 and 2. Like it wasn't even close for season 1.
I like Agni too, by the way. I do.
But when season 2 came around, a lot of the characters got a lot more shit, and Brilith slipped a lot more than Agni did because Agni came back, and I think his interactions with Gandharva and then later on in Cali Bloom, and then when he came back again in Rindhalo, were very, very good. So that's what kept him up there, especially when he met Lee's again. Goated, when she was like, Babo Kim, and I was like, oh my God, they fucking recognize each other. There's no more pussyfooting around. I was hyped.
You love to see it. Isaac and Never trod me on edge of my proverbial seat. I'll never forget that. I'm gonna get to it in a second. Because the reason, just to speak on Saha real quick, Saha to me, there's like I have like my personal like character archetypes that don't particularly make any sense, or just something that I do as a placeholder for me to be able to kind of just like explain what I mean. He has the same impact, in my opinion, that I would argue a character like Mello has in Death Note. I was worried about the story getting stagnant with Light kind of running the show with the police force and blah, blah, blah. And Mello kind of comes in like a blaze of glory and he dies, but he progresses the story forward in a way I didn't expect. So Saha's like, yo, this is the president. Okay, all right. He's like, yo, Asha wildin', jail and prison and trial. I'm like, oh, what? Okay. And then like when it kind of connects to Lorraine, and Lorraine having Asha being like her like kind of the prize student, blah blah blah, and Lorraine being engaged to him and her doing what she did being the reason he died. I thought it was powerful, and you'll see later. Not to spoil anything, but he has a lasting impact. That's why like he's one of those characters where I'm like, he wasn't here for long, but damn, did he moved me. Like I always think about Saha, you know.
I really like Saha especially because he seemed like the first character in the story that intellectually was a match for Asha in certain respects. Now, you want to talk about a character I fucking hate? Get Lorraine's ass.
There we go. Okay. You know what? We good. I know what.
I don't want to see that bitch.
All right, we good. One for one. You like kind of hard, but you hate Lorraine. I'll take it. Lorraine. I don't like Lorraine either. I don't like Lorraine. I hate that bitch.
I think what's great about the fact that you can easily hate on Lorraine is that the story literally shits on her too. Yeah. Lutz is like, you're trash. Get the fuck out of here.
Thing's favorite. Kako's boy. Lutz Sarafi. Lutz. I don't know how to say all the time.
He's like mildly interesting to me. I think there's something you could do.
I liked him because he was very pragmatic.
Yeah.
he just seemed to like be kind of like the opposite and antithesis of Rand to some degree. Like he just like not Rand. So it's just interesting to see how different they were. But I like him, but Rand's my guy. Speak for her. She's really good in the next season writing wise. I don't have a problem with Lorraine from a writing standpoint. I don't really have writing issues with Kubera. I think artistry ones are fair. I don't have any. I still like it because it's very expressive and stuff. And I generally will not bash the beginning of the art if you're improving, and she is, and that's generally what I care about. She's evolving as an artist. You'll see it in season 3 the most. You'll really see a stark contrast, and even in terms of how she does action, she got a lot better. She never ran from that grind, and she's been able to portray action a lot better in the 3rd season. So, while people might complain about that, one thing I always liked, like the characters are very expressive and vibrant. I thought the backgrounds and the locations they go to are always interesting. Altera, Cali Bloom, all those things. Like I think they're all very interesting, diverse settings and whatnot. So I like seeing the background and the trees with different colors and everything. And like you said earlier, she draws. I call them the kaiju battles, but the Suras. I think they look really good when they're really big and doing stuff. I always like the
every
Sura
time
stuff.
the Suras are in full Sura form, it looks good.
Yeah.
Every time.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say just my last gloves on Saha for you, Glam. Wait, so when Saha first came on, and like the whole Asha stuff was going on, like whose side were you on? And like initially, like what was your thought process of that entire
take us through like your kind of your ever evolving opinion on Asha, because I was really like a seesaw back and forth, wishy washy, and I'll tell you after. But what were your kind of like opinions on her until like
initial opinion when she first showed up in the story was just like, okay, you're the edgy, powerful character that's supposed to guide our protagonist around, and she fit that mold, I think, very well in the first season. There was like no reason to actually think about like any sort of. I didn't really have any in-depth nuance associated with her. Like I knew there was probably going to be some troubled past that was there, which is obvious. I just didn't think it would be as what's the word for it?
As troubled?
No, it's not even that, because she really didn't. Honest to God, I don't think her backstory is as tragic as other characters are in the story. To be dead ass with you,
it really isn't. It's just kind of like she's like, you guys fuck with my future. And she's like, you could have wished to bring your family back. Like that. That's how you like you like. She's like, nah, I gotta win.
It's really just because of her mentality that doesn't seem that tragic. That's the main thing. I should say like it's not as
It's sad, but she didn't necessarily take it that way. She took offense to them ruining her future, basically.
Yeah, but like I think. I really have to give Ran a lot of credit as a character here. Her interactions with Ran in Cali Bloom, not necessarily in Misty Shore and in the channel, but mainly in Cali Bloom. Through that dialogue, I was like, I was talking to Townsy a couple times while reading it. And there came a certain point in the story where I was like, man, Ash is really just starting to piss me the fuck off with the way she's just treating everybody around her with her high and mighty self. Because there was certain points where she would be talking to people and she'd just get bodied in a dialogue by somebody else. And I was like, what are you going to say now, bitch? The usual fucking platitude you're going to throw out like, oh, it's all your fault. It's blah, blah, blah. I'm the superior one. That's when I was like legitimately feeling like, if this is the way you're going to write a character that's like a protagonist, I was about to like, if this pattern continues, I was like, the Ashes would, in my mind, have actually been poorly written because it's not appealing and investment worthy for a character that acts like that to be on the protagonist side without any sort of character growth involved, which seemed like a long way away in regards to her. But then as soon as the trial stuff started coming up more prevalent, and I was sort of in like limbo trying to see where it was, I didn't really have a side. I believed she had killed them. And I believed that before it was even painted in a bad light, because it was mentioned before that as well.
Because the halves are not really seen.
Even when it was just like the 29 people that she killed initially, I was like, yeah, she probably did that. There's probably some reason for it that I was willing to wait out and see.
Yep.
I think once they got on the ship to Era Plateau, that's when I started to sense some sinister motivations behind it. And once she did Hoti Marut on Lee's as she was in the elevator, that's when I was like, oh, this bitch is a villain. And as soon as I thought that, because I still had her in my top 10 even to that point, but she was angering me a little bit because she was at the bottom of my list. Like I was damn near ready to put Teo over as a character, but Teo's amnesia had already happened at that point, so that was a negative in my mind. Because again, I already went over that. Once the switch of the villain happened, I was like, okay, there's something you can do with this. And then Kurigan was like, yeah, villain for the rest of that point in the story. I was like, yes, this is how you keep me invested. This is how you make me care about this character. Is if this bitch is just evil, and she just has a lame ass justification like many villains do, it doesn't matter because you're evil as fuck, and I don't care at that point. So you can have some whatever justification you want. So as soon as that happened, I was here for it.
Okay.
Now in terms of the trial itself, I was 100% on As's side. Kill that bitch. Get her the fuck out of here. Save everybody.
The reason that I think,
did you
go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I was just gonna say quickly. Did you like the way in which she used the ramifications of the
Hoti Vishnu?
resurrection? Yeah. At that way when she did all that.
Still unsure as to why she did it with Teo. But she gave like I think the reasoning she gave to Lutz was like this is the right time, or it's the time for me to do this. It's probably just because Vishnu said if you do it at this time, it'll help with whatever you do in the future type beat. That's probably what it was.
There's a couple of things that have happened, and when you fully understand their reason, you're gonna be like, Jesus Christ. But Lost asked you, how do you feel about his girl Sagara? Toxic masculinity.
Oh, I mean, she's like, I don't know, bro. Sagara's damn near like a character I'd consider mid, to be honest.
Okay.
Like she.
Sorry, Lost.
That's
not what he wanted to hear.
she was not moving. Honest to God, none of the Ananta clan members moved me. I'm not gonna lie.
It's okay. Like, Ananta's all the one that matters. He's the one. He is him.
He's the truth.
He is him. But
I can already tell based on some of the like I for a long time in the story, Maruna and Gandharva were clearly the best villains in the story, and then Ash overtook them because at this point Gandharva is not a villain at the end of season 2, and Maruna
needed for the best possible.
And Maruna is just not as good as Ash is in terms of villainy at this point. And I know Maruna is going to switch up at a certain point too, because that's obviously what his arc was going to be in the story anyway, but also because of outside knowledge. But yeah, a lot
of Sagara simps have been betrayed. Sagara's actually one of the characters you dislike. I don't have any strong opinions either way on Sagara. I'm fine with Sagara.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I think she's like in my mind.
I think I used to not like her at first, but I think when like I can't remember at what point in season 1 it came, but like when she was genuinely like honest about what she was doing and why she was doing it, I gained respect for her.
Because like the reason,
like she's not faking the funk. Like
no, she's not. It's clearly just
it's
like
the line with Gandharva, like but being a fake good guy. That like kind of like that's the thing. Like that's something that I've always been like give me the person who's like, you know what, I don't like you. I know what to do with that. That's just real. But you faking you like me whole time. I think you're my friend. You're poisoning all my meals, so I die of natural causes. Like that's not moving me.
Yeah, she keeps it 100. Like so, I respect.
That's the reason. That's the reason why I say it's like step above mid, because her villainy doesn't move me at all. But I can respect the reasons that she's doing the things that she does because they're warranted.
Do me a favor, Glam. When you get a chance, just watch my season 1, like kind of like review of Kubera, and then 2, so you can kind of see my evolving thoughts. Because one of the major reasons I ask you to ask a question is because you could actually even see me when I'm reading some of it. I believe that Asha was actually like still on our side. Like she got me.
Same.
She got me. She got me.
Same.
I'm like she's killing all the Kuberas. Because if you just leave one left, all the power is gonna go to Lee. It's like I'm so convinced. She had some. It's like she's plunging her hands in the dirt and the mud and evil for the sake of our MC. So I was like, okay, but it was just like the most like my friend said is one of the most Naya things I've ever seen you do on camera. Is like you were wrong and you saw that and you're like, that's crazy. She's still that bitch though. she's still goated for that. I'm like, she never really hit it. You could see confliction, but she was kind of always a dickhead. So it's like like to the point. Like if I'm like I understand what like I actually resonate with the main character Lee's Kubera like a lot, right? Sorry, it's just because there's so many Kubera. Sometimes I specify like Kubera, the god of earth, Kubera Lee's, like so if you catch me doing that, Glam, that's why, because there's multiple Kuberas.
I do it too.
Yeah,
that's
so
the same thing.
So I actually resonate with her a lot of the ways because she's kind of afraid she wants to be kind of be accepted. Doesn't express herself sometimes, but it's like for me, it's like if you're acting like that, I don't care what's going on. I don't want to be with you. Like Asha, you got to see me, throw hands or just get the fuck out of here. But she stayed. And because of some connections to Rao Lee's too, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I feel like she's rocking with Rao. But I was like, dang. I was so wrong. And I did not switch sides. I said, hey, she go.
Nah, I switched sides quick. I was like, let's burn this bitch. Let's put this bitch in the dirt.
No,
yeah,
no.
I think it's me. I don't know what it is. I have really good intuition when it comes to like the pathways certain characters are going to take. I always talk about this story with
I'm good at
MHA.
traps. I know when a trap's a trap. That's what I'm good at. I'm like, that's a man. That's what I'm good at.
Yeah, but I always use this example for MHA when MVA was going on. There was a lot of people that thought Redestro's group were going to be like major players in the story for a long period of time. And as soon as I saw the designs of the characters, like these dudes are going to be stepping stones for Shigaraki so fucking hard, and he's just going to make them part of his group. And lo and behold, that was immediately what happened right after that. So when because I was already starting to feel like this bitch is tripping a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she was already tripping a little bit. And I knew there's going to be some shit going on in terms of her backstory and connections with Lee's. Yeah, again, as soon as I saw Hoti Maru, I was like, okay, nah, it's over. Like, she's just evil. Now, one thing I will say, I don't actually think that she did kill Rao.
Okay.
I think she attempted to, and like thinks he's dead. I actually don't think the fuck.
Glam's not the first person to say that to me. Actually.
Really?
When my cousin was catching up, he was telling me I think that there's some shenanigans there, and she's cool with taking the blame, but she didn't actually do it.
I think she thinks Rao is dead. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Like I think she actually succeeded in putting him in a place where he could not come back. But I think the dude's probably still out there. And if I'm wrong, it's like you still achieve the same goal, but it just doesn't come across as a situation where it seems certain to me that she killed him. Honestly.
Interesting. Would you think of the Ran? What'd you think of the Ran always thinking Asha was a boy thing for a while? Did you think that was funny at all?
It's probably the lamest gag in the story. I'm not gonna lie. I think a lot of Lee's gags are much better than hers.
Well, she's a goat.
I mean, I think, honest to God, the funniest interactions.
It didn't bother me, but I could see that being like, listen, I don't care about this. Just stop it.
Yeah. It wasn't.
I think it went on too long.
It wasn't offensive. It just wasn't funny. The funniest shit in the story to me is when Yuta's teenage form and he like initially has to leave Lee's, and then the first time he goes back to where the scarf is when Ran has it, he like pulls up and hugs him. He's like, "Oh, Lee's, I'm sorry I have to do this, but I need to see you again and hug you." And Ran's just like, "Bro, get the hell off me." That shit took me out.
Ran has come a long way. His stock has continued to rise because Ran is not a character that I thought I was gonna like. And Ran's once
they got in, he was like.
But end of season 2, he's really dope.
Yeah,
Honestly.
he was aight to me all the way up until once they got into Cali Bloom. That's when he started to go up for me.
Okay.
Because then you got all the Rao connections. He started talking heavy to Asha. He started trying to help.
You saw him use the is it called a neutral ball? Ball neutrality.
Neutral ball.
Yeah. You saw him use that. You're like, okay.
I think Ran is great because I think it's one of those things of like he always presented himself as like kind of like the like dumbass kind of character, kind of like Asaka, but like he is older than he looks, literally, because he's
so much more than that.
Yeah,
that meets the eye.
And he does have a good understanding, I think, of relationships, and he did like I think he always had really good words for Lee's.
Yes.
And as Glam said, he was on Ash's ass.
Yes. God. He was talking heavy.
Like, what is good with you? Like, bro. Ma'am? He's like, ma'am? Bro? Like, he's not even sure. Ma'am, bro? Like,
let's get because I feel like youth is gonna be a huge thing for you to talk about and Kassak Glam. So I want to ask. I don't know how much you're gonna care about these guys as much, but I'm curious about Claude, Lila, and Chandra. For you.
Layla is one that has potential. She just
Okay.
hasn't been in the story enough.
Story
I think her having Chandra there puts her in a unique position of this potentially could reach Brilith Agni level because you're not going to have the god there with the summoner and have apparently some sort of relationship where Chandra seems heavily interested in Layla. Based on the ending of season 2, it seemed almost romantic from what I saw on Chandra's end, but I don't know if that's probably cat. It might just be he has a fascination with her as a lower life form. But I think Layla's got some room to go. Claude, like he cool or whatever. Like he's not really moving me.
Really?
To be honest,
I was kind of, you know what? It's funny to me because I'm kind of a priest and priestess merch. You know, like I'm a Jihad princess merchant. I'm kind of like I like. There's not really a priest or a priestess that I didn't like. There's some that I like way more than others, but I like all of them for something. And Claude, I just like the kind of like, he's like the intellectual troll who knows more than he lets on, but he just kind of messes with people. But he is, I don't know, man. It's hard to explain. But she has this ability of creating characters that are really good and interesting. Anywhere from like an 8, honestly, to like a 9 out of 10. And then she'll just limit break them to like 11. You're like, bro, what? That makes fucking sense.
I actually think that I think Irie is better than Claude is, and Irie's barely been.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not gonna argue with you.
Than,
that's my girl. I'm not mad at you.
Because I agree. Like I think
Irie don't move me. I'm gonna be honest with you. Irie does not move me.
She shouldn't. I'm just weird.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, I like Irie. I don't know why I said that. I thought you were talking about the Wind Priestess for some reason.
I think Mira is
okay
for sure. I think Mira. I don't want to say clears, but I like Mira a lot more than I like Irie because of the Lee stuff.
Lala's not an MC, but she damn near seems like it sometimes. I feel it. Claude always made me laugh. Yep.
But
so then how'd you take the Claude and Lee's thing when he used Hotia?
Yama.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, he seemed like a conniver the minute he showed up, so I wasn't surprised. I wasn't like, get this fucker out of here type shit because as soon as they brought the spell out, it was like, this shit's easily reversed. So it's like, okay, this is easily some sort of spell that isn't like ultimately the worst thing in the world to do because you can just easily get rid of it. It's just like a black hole. And he's like, he's a character I look at mainly as sort of plot device-ish, personally, because he gets shit moving for the most part. Like he's one of those characters where when you put them in the plot, something's gonna happen, even if he's not the main component of that.
Okay. But how do you take seeing Lisa's lifespan then?
I think that's gonna end up being Cat, personally.
Interesting.
I actually don't think she's gonna die at that age, or if she does, Yama's gonna do some shit where he's gonna like,
I mean, even Asha's supposed to die really young,
I think both of those are gonna be Cat, personally.
When Claude said Lala always says she'll snap my neck, but she only ever snaps my arms and legs, and that's easily fixed with a restoration spell. I remember that. This webtoon is actually like I have to remind myself sometimes it's funnier than it seems. Like I honestly do get a good like chuckle pretty frequently enough that I'm like, Kubera is like a genuinely funny series. Kind of like Early Tower God is like pretty damn funny, all things considered.
I agree.
Yeah.
Naya.
Yo.
I'm curious if Glam was as dumb as us. Did you think Lila's thing was her face?
No, not after. There was a when I first saw
that bitch was a goblin. I can't believe it, bro. I'm so stupid.
I did too.
When I saw, wait, when did you guys figure out that she wasn't?
When she wasn't wearing it from the back. That's her hair.
Bro.
When she took it off.
Yeah, like when I noticed it, there was because at first when she was in the story, I was not paying attention to her because I was paying attention to Brilith and Asha in the backstory. But then there's a moment in the backstory where you see the eye looking through the nose of the mask, and I was like, "Oh, that's a mask. That's cool." Then I went on with my day.
I cannot see.
That's when I saw it.
I have eyes, but I cannot see.
But I'm telling you, when I first saw when Asha was when they were doing the test, and Asha was trying to see if she could be if she was gonna be double A, and
Mhm.
I saw the mask. I was like, is this a creature? Do they have different species?
In my defense, Ashu, that's more about appreciating the aesthetic beauty. It's not the writing, all right. So I still get to keep my card. I'm just blind. Now, but visual storytelling is a thing. But now I keep saying I need merch. Like I want like earmuffs with the Lila mask on it, and stuff like that too. I need a T-shirt made. But before I kind of ask you what you think about like the writing, storytelling. It's like literally the storytelling itself and the writing and lore and stuff like that.
Oh, before you go, I didn't finish my point on Irie.
Oh, my fault.
Before you go. No, I was gonna say, I think Irie would have been much higher on my list if she had actually trained with Lise, like as stated like multiple times at the end of season 2 that she wanted to do that. Because I think that's actually kind of two missed-ish opportunities, but it also sort of serves the plot that she's supposed to be alone, where her training with Irie and Teo were both things that were sort of set up and then not really touched upon. I know that's intentional and purposeful, but it also like I was like, man, you could have like made her get stronger and then removed the teacher from her in some sort of brutal way, or like had them separate due to circumstance, and then she feels alone because they're not there and they're not able to help. It could have been something could have been done, but it wasn't like a bad thing. But I also would have liked that's one thing in regards to Irie that I would have liked. And two, I would have liked to have her see Cloth again, because he took a particular interest in her for some reason.
Yeah,
which isn't really extrapolated upon. And he was the one Ananta clan member that it was kind of moving me because of that. Because I think the problem with the majority of Sura is that when they're not like, when they're just like, oh, we're high and mighty over you, like in terms of the other species, including gods, I should add, they're just not particularly interesting. When they're intermingling and interacting with other characters, that's where I think it's more like that. That's why I like Shess. That's why I love Cossack and Yuta especially. Like those three in particular, and Gandharva too. That's the main reason I like Gandharva, is because of the Teo stuff and what he does after that point. The Shakuntala was like my initial reason for liking him, but him sort of being down bad after that is like that's more like plot driven for me. That's not like necessarily his next character thing. His next character thing is learning to find new love in other people.
The next character thing for him is I fucking drown him. But
that's impossible. He can't drown.
I'll figure it out. So I picked that on purpose.
That's like that
exactly Ace Made Aquaman video.
Ace Made.
Exactly.
That's what I was about to say.
I'm about to drown him. He's like, nigga,
fucker
what?
Aquaman.
He's like, you call Aquaman? Oh shit, boy, I tell you. So I've been trying to catch this nigga slipping for years, bro. I actually wanted to ask you about your general opinions on the dynamic between and the hierarchy and like interactions between the varying races. So we'll keep it humans. We'll say I'm gonna put quarters and halves in like the same tiers. You got your like Sura, superior Suras if you want to go like 4-stage, 5-stage, whatever. Then like the gods and primordial gods. Like obviously I'm talking about the totality for where I am too, but I actually think she does a really good job showcasing how different these tribes, if you will, are. Because I think the main reason that she's able to show this so well is lifespan. Because of the different lifespans that these characters have, you could see that humans move a certain way because they're gonna die in like 80 years, so to speak, whatever. Then like the halves and quarters are not as, they're like human, but not as well. Rand is kind of accepted me, but like I just think she did a really good job showcasing how different each kind of race is and how they move, and then within all of them, the kind of outliers. Like I've kind of argue Agni's a bit of an outlier there in some ways. But
I think Ran is for quarters.
Yes,
on
yes,
the
yeah. But what do you think? What do you think that he has? The dynamic between them?
I think all of those are good except for two different aspects. I think, well, no, all of them are good except for one, and there's one of them that I think is good that could have been as good as the other ones, but I think it was lacking one aspect. So the one that I think is meaningless are Sura that aren't Rakshasa level or above. Like anything that's Upani or lower is basically just irrelevant.
Okay.
The second thing is I think halves are done well in terms of lifespan, but I think quarters do it better because they're interacting with humans more often. And the reason why I think halves are lacking in this sense is because I don't think half of only villages are explored enough in terms of their culture and what makes them so much different than regular human villages that exist. Because we don't really get to see a lot of regular human villages outside of the cities either, outside of the first couple chapters. So I would have liked to have seen that kind of difference in culture in terms of the halves. There was that one scene with the one half that they save in the town right before Misty Shore that Yuta takes back.
Yeah.
That's like the most you get. Other than that, I think
But you do know what you do at least know they're like discriminated against, though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's why I think halves are still good, but not as good as they could be.
Okay.
Yeah.
As of this moment in time. But every other aspect, like,
do you have a
Shasa
favorite
Nastica,
out of them? Like primordial gods, Sura's the most. Like, do you have an interest? Are you?
I mean, other than humans,
really,
because
okay.
humans isn't really fair because obvious reason.
Are you a pure blood? I'm trying
Yeah,
to.
but
I low keep. I probably want to be a quarter.
Quarter is lit.
Yeah, I'd probably be quarter too.
I want the I want the lifespan boost, but I'm not trying to look like a freak.
And you can still do magic.
Yeah.
In terms of like special groups, I think the one that interests me are particularly non-primeval gods, specifically the 7 natural.
Okay.
Other group that I'm most interested in, because I know all of them are 5th Zen.
Are you 5th Zen?
I would definitely be 5th Zen. You fucking kidding me?
Hey.
This man Glam would not be no fucking 5th Zen guy.
What do you mean?
This man Glam would be a 2nd Zen god of Earth on a puny planet.
What are we talking about?
Gunhover would have pulled up one day because he didn't get his tea right and just blow out the
That's crazy. I believe in his 5th Zen potential.
You see the one aspect of the little elemental bullshit that isn't there. They don't got a life or wood or anything like that. So I take that shit and I make myself 5th Zen of that. New school of magic, just based off me.
They have
OT trees.
Do you have a favorite clan? I'm Vitra clan. I'm with the dragons. So
hey, I was telling Miles this earlier. Me and you are on the same wavelength, my boy. Vitra. Vitra's too raw.
You know,
real Kaido could never real dragons.
Facts. These
dragons. What did Agony say? Dry the god.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm rocking with. I love Kasak, bro. The stuff with his daughter and everything, and then earrings.
Yeah, Kasak is hard carrying the Vitra clan as of right now, but I'm interested to see what Taksaka and Vitra themselves are like.
Yeah, the Yaksha clan.
I will the minute
sweet.
Kasak was in my top 10 for a while, but what shot him up to top 5 was when he was fighting Symphati, and he said, "Mercy, don't make me laugh. Mercy is only granted by the side with superior strength. You're not powerful enough to grant me mercy." I was like, "Oh my fucking god, he's spitting."
No, lines like that always move me because it's like, right? Like, what demand? Like, if I really believe I have the power here, what demand do you have to make? Don't like. It's so.
And what kind of reminded it for me
reminds me of the Yamamoto line. Like, much as I don't really care for Bleach like that, the one where they're like, "Yo, where the guards at?" He's like, "I'm here, bitch. It's secure." I'm like, "Oh shit, oh shit." I said, "You know what? Fair enough." That's a cold ass line. Like, I don't need security, bitch. I'm here.
What compounded it for me for Kasek in that moment was that a bunch of the Rakshasa were downplaying him up until that point in the story into this like power scaling. Like Maruna especially was acting like the Kasek ain't shit. Mm-hmm. And every time they said that, I was like, this is Cat. This dude would fold y'all. Stop playing. And then as soon as he did this to a 5th stage 1, where he just like, yeah, you can't move and I'm putting you in this portal and there's nothing you can do about it. Like, he's broken. Fuck out of here. As soon as I saw that, I was like, Maruna, Yuta, you both can fuck off. You're losing to my boy. Mm-hmm. I don't care. Because that was like personal vindication off of that one. Because I was like, they are tripping with this man. Because the only other Rakshasa I thought that could legitimately beat him up until that point was Shess.
Oh,
Shess just came
That's
across.
Fair. And he's old, and he's really, really old. He's been around for quite some time. So
I was talking to Miles about this earlier. Like, I can't imagine what Shess would look like if he was 5th stage, like at all. He'd be broken.
He'd be Dino's fucking flying Pegasus. Godhavara has great dialogues with Tio and Lise. Actually, I've always said the one line that I like. When I think this is the Hadiyama stuff when he walks there and he's like a pretty face and nice body. He's like a dime a dozen. So I can't remember what he said verbatim, but that's Godhavara's best moment for me. Quarters are better than halves and pure bloods. My favorite clan is the Garuda. Okay, Hokkaido.
Yeah.
I actually think Gandharva's best relationship isn't even with Teo. I think it's with Agni. That's what I think is his best character relationship is.
I'm not. I don't disagree with that. I think it's it's one of those things you got to do a little bit extra reading into, but I don't disagree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon halves are the equivalent of fish stage Rakushas because of the deal they made, the emotion thing, right?
Yeah.
Remember when Asha first met Yuta, she made him eat vegetables to find out if he's a Sura, but that
That
didn't make
shit
sense.
was
From
fucking
what we've
hilarious.
seen, other Suras can normally eat vegetables, but
Yuta specifically can't
Taraka clan.
Yeah.
Do that
They
because
have
need
to.
meat.
I don't want to say too much. I feel like I'm going to say those season 3 things. I'm not going to say. But by the way, Glam, if you care, there is some ancillary side stories and stuff. Like she has basically a novel
For
called
Kasek's dad.
Yeah, okay. So it's a saga. Just so you know, okay. I read it.
Yeah.
So I think it adds a lot. So as part of the Future Clan, that's good. And there's special chapters for the 3rd season. Just so you know.
I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever look into it. I think it would depend.
I think you would like it. I'm not rushing you to read the final. That's probably, in my opinion, kind of the least important thing. But get around to it sometime, even if that's next year.
I think I'd probably only look into it if I care about Taksaka.
Or you can watch my video on it when I finally drop it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I think you'll like. As I said, I think you'll like Tasaka if you like.
That's what. Yeah, I think me reading it really depends on if I care about Taksaka and the base material enough or not.
That's fair.
Other than
you do, but as Maya said, you do have to read the. Were all the special chapters dropped in between season 2 and 3?
I think so. I think what they told me was while season 3. Well, I think after season 2 they told me she took a hiatus. But I remember someone telling me she took a hiatus during the 3rd season up to a point, and that's when she did the special chapters. But it could be season 2 ended, she took a break, but did the special chapters, and then started season 3. I'm not 100%.
Yeah, I don't know where the.
Let me confirm and clarify, and I'll let you know, because I think I caught up to where I was at in the 3rd season, and then I just read the special chapters. I think I was around. I was around the weight of time when I caught up. So
I'm trying to think if it gave any technically spoilers for season 3.
I'll double check because I haven't revisited it.
There's there's a bunch of chapters on Manga Dex for Baboken Sans where I think it's volume 3, chapter 160, and there's 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. I think it goes all the way up to 0.9 for chapter 160, but there's a bunch of different chapters there. I don't know if that's it, or it could just be some other shit.
Well,
I think there's
I'm gonna send it to you on Kubari.moe because that's usually where I read it, honestly. Because I think Manga Dex.
I read on Manga Dex.
I think Manga Dex gets it first, but part of the reason I use Kubari too is because the white Kubera logo that I use for the screen, it contrasts better with the black. So
okay,
that's why, because the white on white doesn't really work. So yeah, special chapter episodes right here. I'm gonna DM it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, because the way I think it was, Glam, I think there is multiple, but I think there's 4 actual stories. Some are just more chapters. I could be misremembering now.
And that's all of them now?
Yeah, like even if you kind of click on the side or whatever, it goes 0, 1 to about special episode 13, Wish. That's where it ends. And if you care about the April Fool's Q&A, you can.
Oh, you mean it's the popularity poll ones, or are they different type stuff?
What do you mean? No, I'm saying there's an April Fool's Q&A if you care. That's what I'm saying. But there's 13 special chapters. Is what I'm saying. It's gays, conditions for affection. I love you. I love you not. I love you not too. Water Shadow, news, ideals, South Pole expedition, South Pole expedition 2, hide and seek.
Oh, these are These are the ones that were on.
Okay, so there you go. Well,
Manga Dex.
Okay,
because right after the April Fool's one, it's season 3, 161.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those are the ones I was thinking of then. Okay.
I mean, there were a lot of special chapters. Jesus.
Yeah. All right. So, what do you think about Kurigam's storytelling and writing ability so far?
Very good. Very, 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 very good. I'll say right now, the 2 seasons in, the story's already an 8 out of 10 for me.
Okay.
Not the top of my 8s, but like middle of the pack for my 8s. And I don't want to really speak on her level of storytelling.
It's not crazy to me because that's where I think that's where I had the end of season 2 out of the 8.
Yeah, so. I don't want to like go too ham on that regard, just because I think season 3 is going to be. I don't want to say, well, make or break. Sure, I guess I'll use that.
I could tell you with confidence
like,
that I think the third season, I think every season builds upon the last one, and it gets better. Yeah. I don't think
that's my
this series doesn't seesaw to me or get worse. I think it just crescendos upwards. Honestly,
that's the impression I'm getting of it so far, because I felt that way from 1 to 2. Yeah, I think so far, I recommend this to any reading level or intellectual level in terms of your storytelling. If you're going to try and look for good shit in that regard, like I'd put it up there with the way I felt about pre-skip One Piece, the way I felt about large portions of things like Berserk, Fables, I have it literally like right next to shit like East of West, and the way I feel about current Berserk. Like, that's how high it is.
Okay. See,
Yeah.
I don't rant. How often do I really rant or rave about anything? You know, if I'm doing it, there's got to be a reason why. But I'm usually the person that'll tell you if something that I like is an acquired taste, though. Because as much as I think JoJo was great, I don't think it's for everybody. I really don't. I think it's too zany, wacky, and over the top for some people. The same way that I think Monogatari, as much as I love that shit, I still think it's an acquired taste. I don't think Monogatari is for everybody. I think Kubera is for all the people who claim to care about writing and storytelling. If this is not the story you like, then don't talk to me. You're a fucking liar. I don't want to hear it. You're going to look me in the eye and tell me some shit like Black Clover. Just move from my face. You're not serious. I'm not hearing it no more. For me, it was already the best story I read by the end of season 2. It's easily the best webtoon that I've read. That much I could tell you. That's not debatable. I've still read a lot of stories that I really like as much, if not more. But as far as the webtoons that I've read, and that includes other ones, so other webcomics that I like. That even includes Saint Ferrand, Romantically Apocalyptic, RRBA and stuff. Kubera is clear. The best webcomic and webtoon that I've ever read is Kubera, One Last God. Story and art by Kurigam. It's not close. I actually liked it more than Tower of God, like a long time, like quite some time into it. Like, I think this is way better than TOG. I'm sorry, it's just not close to me. But
yeah, I'm trying to think. Like,
I waited though. I still waited. I caught up, and I wanted it to be consistently kind of better for a year before I kind of stated that outright. And that doesn't mean that Tower of God, like, I mean, you could think what you want. I'm not that doesn't necessarily mean it sucks, but I just think Kubera's better. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, do I like it right now more than I did Tower of God when I read it all the time? Like, I want to say yes, but I don't want to, and that's just only 2 seasons in. I want to say yes, but I don't think it was a big gap.
My friend said this to me, and it made sense. My cousin, sorry. He said he enjoyed Tower of God more because of the combat and other things happening, but he could acknowledge that Kubera was much better told. Did that make sense?
That was literally my thought process. I was literally say what you want about TOG. Season 2's fights were incredible for the ones that were actually fleshed out and done. Like, Bam versus Kaiser and Bam versus Dada Jihad are 2 of the best fights I've read in a long time, personally. But I think if Kubera had combat like that, I would probably say it clears.
You're actually gonna hear me. You're gonna actually hear me say something. I think she should work on in kind of first kind of review and stuff. Like, my issue was these characters are way too powerful for them to not be fighting. I'm sorry. Facts. You shouldn't have made them ultimate gods. Like, if they're just people or whatever, it wouldn't have bothered me. But you're telling me God Harvard could wrap himself up if you don't let him blow up. I need to see that. So
there was one member of his clan, I think Mansaka, whatever his name is, and he does an attack in front of another Genharva clan member who is also a Nastica, and I can't remember his name. He blew up 3 mountains in a row, and he said, "If I had been in the human realm, I would have blown up planets with this, but now I can barely do anything." I was like, "What the fuck? These dudes are planetary level?"
Yeah.
And that was before I saw Genharva.
Mata's full form is supposed to be the size of the
galaxy
universe. What? I said, if you guys will start throwing some goddamn hands, I'm gonna be sick. So honestly, I'm with you. I'm not mad at that. Naya waited a lot for TOG. I really did. I think the two most recent chapters, Ananda and Abyss, have not been the best pacing, but season 3 overall has been excellent. I actually disagree with that. I think Anata was really well paced and interesting, and I think Abyss has been really well told and paced too. And I think we jump around like the perfect amount in like almost the not perfect, but like in a very acceptable sequence. I don't remember exactly when it surpassed Tower God for me, but it was somewhere in season 2. That's fair. That makes sense. But again, I could see someone kind of like being more excited about it again because I understand action and something like that. Like I don't take that away from it because I could
Dude,
easily say possibly the artistry might be her weakest her weakest point here.
I don't know if anything in TOG made me pop as much as I did when fucking Lee's punched Asher in the face. I'm not gonna lie.
What made
that shit was goated.
Someone mentioned when Lorraine ran her over after with the car.
Man,
I'm like, that's way too late. She did not move me.
Fuck that bitch, bro.
You know what hurt me? I hurt me when the God of Earth kicked Lee's. I think she kicked him or something. Like, oh, yo, I thought like,
damn,
that hurt me.
I saw that coming.
I know he had a role to play, but I didn't. I was like, dang, like y'all got the same name.
now I need Glam to just read season 3.
That's what I'm so mad he's taking this fuck ass detour, but I'll take what I can get. I'll take what I can get. I know I have to hold back so much.
There's a specific moment that I know he's gonna be fucking.
I know what you're talking about. I know exactly.
And you know who it's with. It's my guy. It's my dude. It's my boy.
I'm waiting for the God Kubera moment where he sees her again when she's on the ground, like "Don't talk to me" type shit. Which that's one thing I'll say. This partially the reason where a lot of things where characters like this is guaranteed to happen, you can't change it. I think a lot of that's probably capped because of things like Kubera's visions changing as he's interacting with Lee's. Mm-hmm. I actually don't think the future in this series is as set in stone as people like to make it out to be in multiple aspects. Like I think Vishnu's fucking list of shit he gave Asha is going to be cap in some regard. I think the ages are going to be cap. I think Rao
gave her the cheat sheet for life
is cap. I think the cheat sheet is going to be manipulated in some way, shape, or form.
Well, I've never really said this like to you, I guess, but like I don't believe that like Vishnu's a good person.
Neither do I.
I can't put my finger on it, and it's not to say I think Callie isn't like a chaos merchant. I just don't think she's as bad as she comes across. I don't necessarily have a specific in-story reason. It's just my intuition that's telling me that.
Yeah, that's the same thing with the ages for me because I think I don't know. I know the series is tragic and all, but I don't see a manner in which, and this kind of goes back to like the story where everybody's like everything's bad for Lee's and that Asha is gonna make her life shit for forever. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's gonna happen because it's not really satisfying for a reader to like have the main character essentially do all this stuff and essentially achieve nothing, or just be sort of left to rot by the end of the story. That's the main thing. But the second reason is just this. From the interactions she's having in the story, Lee's discussions with other characters is already changing things that seemed predestined for, at least for the character who's the first character we saw that started looking into the future, being the god she was associated with, already having multiple visions that changed multiple times as he talked to her. So I think
the potential for that happening makes sense. I think all the evidence she used makes sense to me. They said my hyper intuition didn't have flashback because it says that the person who
that's spoilers.
That's why I read it. I read it. But to answer your question, I was pretty wary of Vishnu from Asha pretty much getting that cheat sheet, and this is kind of how I work, right? And maybe it's one of those things where I'm just applying my real life personality to the story. I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's okay. I'm wrong most of the time. But when a character just gets a person in life or whatever, like one day I just like, let's say I'm just chilling, and one day everyone just hates like Chris Pine. Everyone, every article, no matter what, for like 8 months. I don't believe you anymore. Why are you going so hard for one person? That you have a collective almost like timeline of like bash, that person not it. So the way they speak about Callie is like, I don't believe y'all. Cause none of you have anything nice to say ever once for any reason. So I'm like, I don't know, man. And Vishnu, like I think he needs Asha for something very specific. So I think he's using her. I don't think that it was really like a I'm doing this for you in your future if you want to win and blah blah blah. I just don't think I don't know. Again, it's not really based on anything that I said where it's like, oh, you see this story detail? Whatever. It's like I just my intuition is like I don't trust you, Vishnu.
You already know how I feel about most of the
I think Vishnu,
especially Brahma. I hate Brahma.
I think Vishnu is largely benevolent based on like who he is. I think what's more likely is that he's using Asha for some specific purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of other characters that he tells the futures of, and it's not like manipulative at all. It's like, hey, this is like something that's actually going to help you in your future, like Katsuk, and also who was he with? Who was the kid that he took?
Kasak?
No, he was with. It was one of because Garuda's friends were.
He took Kalivinka.
Yeah, that's right. It's Kalavinka. That's right. Because
the
Shuri
siblings.
Shuri had you. Yeah, because it was Garuda.
Shuri
I remember
had
Garuda's only friends were Gandharva, Shuri, and Vishnu. That's what I was trying to think.
Yes.
Which kid did he take?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he's large. And there's plenty of reason to believe that Kali's not all bad because we see the maternal instinct that she has with Yuta while warped is still maternal. And I didn't say it's more maternal than somebody like Big Mom, who people try and say that has maternal instincts. Really
Mothering mode? Come on, bro. You know I was moving you.
Oshiruko, man. Wow, what are we talking about?
Her mothering mode. I said, all right, bro. You guys are just not serious anymore. But
yeah, I don't think Kali's all bad. The primeval god I'm most interested in is Shiva, which is sad because he's not going to be in the story.
Right?
But
I was like, yo, why?
Shiva the Destroyer not in the story?
What's with this now, like, oh, Phantom Minute, but he won't be there? Why, man? Anyways, but I think I had a conversation about this, and I largely disagree with people's kind of feelings and opinions on this. But but it's one of those things where it's like I understand why people say it, as idiotic as I think it is once you go beneath the surface. But a lot of people compare Rachel and Asha as, you know, they follow the main character, and you could say, you know, the main character had a lot of love for them and blah blah. And there's like a sharp turn that's supposed to hurt your heart and stuff. But there's like a joke that I've been seeing sometimes where it's like, Rachel is what SIU wishes like Asha is what SIU wishes like Rachel is and stuff like that. Do you see a lot of commonality and overlap with them or not? Because as much as I understand why people compare them, I think it's a very lazy comparison.
It's literally the only comparison you make is because they betrayed people that were allegedly close to them.
Yeah,
that's it. Asha's.
I think she's a much different character. I'll be very honest with you. As much as I think Rachel's a good character, I think Asha's much better and stuff. So.
Asha's literally like if you mixed Asha. Honest to God, if I went through purely Tower of God character standpoints, Asha's like if you mixed Rachel with Gustang, like dead ass. Like this, it's not even close.
Maybe a little
like Asha's. Yeah, appearance
Gustang's
and
already
conniving
a pretty
nature.
Yeah. I guess you only double the connivery.
Yeah. So. Asha.
You see more
I'm not
overlap
really
with Rachel and Sagara? That's interesting.
I'm not really Rachel's biggest fan. Because, like, I think I look at Rachel in a similar vein that I look at Claude as. Except that Rachel's more important to her story by leaps and bounds than Claude is. Where they're plot movers. For the most part. Like, they get shit going. And I don't really think Rachel's... When Rachel has character interactions, they're really only good for the person opposite her.
Mm-hmm.
Where Rachel just acts as this foil where they can sort of just either body her or take things from her in terms of like dialogue that's happening. Yeah. At least pre-season 3.
Polona, I agree with you. Asha doesn't even see her own actions as betrayal. It's more like, why were you foolish enough to click them like that? I actually agree with that. Like, because at the end of the day, like, I'm not like, I want Lise to be happy. I really do. But it's just like, you gotta take some accountability because like she was not treating you right.
Yeah, and Lise, that's one of the reasons I think Lise is so good is because she's actually doing that.
Yes,
at the end of season 2, and Asha to me is just
I can see that.
That's master manipulation from the very start.
Yeah, Asha doesn't have any insecurities about her looks. What's up, Mpanzu? What's going on, brother?
That's why I think with Rachel, like Rachel isn't really a villain I would consider imposing. Asha is a villain I would 100%.
Because she could kind of walk the walk. She could walk the talk too, because she's strong, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why I said it, because it kind of reminded me when people are like, "Oh, a lot of people used to describe Tower of God as the One Piece of webtoons, and I'm like, if I really want to, if I play ball with you guys, I get it. But wow, this lazy. I don't like lazy surface level comparisons and analysis like that because they're so different to me. But
back when I was a casual, I didn't make that comparison. I said it was more Hunter x Hunter to me. That's what I used to compare it to.
Wait.
no.
But yeah, that was the lazy take is there as well, though.
Yeah. Miles, I thought you were gonna say something. He's making noises.
No, I was just looking at the comment. I just don't know if I agree with that Asha statement. Maybe I think with I don't know. For me, I think I think this is why I also hate Asha a lot more, is because I don't think she's as convicted as she believes herself to be.
Mm-hmm.
Just off the strength that she didn't initially rock with Lee's, and there were certain moments where she did seem like she did like think maybe there could be a different way, despite going as far as she did.
Mm-hmm.
And even though she did like re-strengthen her resolve at a certain point, the taking the time that you did to me was like, well, your conviction wasn't 100% as strong as you thought.
I think that's very obvious. There's a very obvious reason for why that is. I think it's because despite everything that she had to do to Rao, she still liked him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
still,
100%.
still
She had a respect and a reverence for Rao for sure.
Yeah,
like a father
and that transferred over to Lise.
Genuine.
And it's
Yes.
like, so I don't think she ever particularly liked Lise. I think it's very clear that she despised Lise since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was just because out of respect for Rao, she helped her in whatever way seemed fitting at the time.
Didn't you what was your reaction when you saw the thing where she was like, if things could have been different? What'd you say again?
Oh, when she fucking threw away the dog. Oh my god. That was like, I got it because she was a villain, but it still pissed me off. When she threw, there was a flashback scene where she's sitting there about to use Hoti Vishnu on the Ananta res.
Mm-hmm.
And it's showing her, she's a kid, and Rao has brought her back from Karte, and they're reuniting with Rao's family, and he took her in because he said he'd sponsor her. And I was like, this bitch knew this was a possibility and threw it all away for her own ambitions. I was like, fuck this bitch. That was my reaction. I was like,
you know what?
I had your reaction. I was like, but I'm here for it though. But fuck that bitch. That's literally what I had.
She said this happy kumbaya. He's like, I need vengeance of those who would take my future from me. I said, yeah, it's crazy. But I mess with the energy. I'm not mad at it, but I'm like, bro, like, why it
I was like, it was the same reaction I had when Teo lost her memories. I was like,
I take care. I'm positive.
Fuck.
The things Ross says to Asha in the flashback are some of my favorite lines. They resonated. I can't wait to do a character that died on Asha, but I low-key wanted to come back before I get a chance to do it. But damn it, man, she's a good character. She's fascinating. She's fascinating.
It was the same reaction I had when Teo got stabbed in the neck. I was like, God damn it, Harvard, you were about to have the total switch up to good guy status.
No.
Fuck.
No.
I needed it.
I just want to fight him. I just want to fight. like, what are you going to do? Is have multiple planets? I don't care. You got to see me. If he going to destroy my soul and all kind of shit.
You can't be mad at him throwing away his daughter that he should have known was dead from the beginning but was in denial about.
All I gotta say is we need God. We need
dickhead.
All I gotta say is we need him for the perfect future, and we don't need Asha. That's
listen. My main investment.
What if Asha supersedes that and makes her own future? What's up?
Jesus Christ.
What's up, Vince?
Everything is predetermined. Conrad Kurz taught me that.
I need that panel of Genharva and Agni fighting together against something. I need it to happen. I need it. I fucking need it, man.
Oh man. Yeah, Vince, you got through the first 2 seasons. Glam, you're not caught up yet. In case you're gonna say something, I know you're not caught up though.
Glam actually likes something. That's
what's
crazy.
Gonna have second magic?
Wow, look at this hyperbole from this man.
No, it's not. You hate everything under the sun.
Did I not know that?
That he hates everything under the sun?
No. Just that Gandhi's second magic is resurrection magic. That makes so much sense now.
I didn't shit.
What the fuck is he
Well,
talking about? Oh,
because
yeah,
because
yeah,
all
yeah.
because all Nastikas
Yes.
have
Yes.
two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, he has Vishnu or Esvin, whatever it is.
it's resurrection, which makes sense because he's one of the few now that has the immortal bodies among the Nastikas.
Yeah.
He's a name stealer. They said the tapper was good. Olivia Quick Draw Quinn. But I'm glad
Wait,
that
so
you,
does
I'm
that
glad that you're
mean-
enjoying it though up to this point.
I will
I had
say,
I had
think
faith. I have the utmost. There are certain series when I recommend it, I swear to God, I look at you like, yo, bro, if I'm wrong, you can take a testicle. I have that much faith. I had no doubt that Kubera was going to be a series like, yo, I'm not saying it's going to be Glam's favorite thing ever, but he'd be like, this is a good fucking webtoon. That's all I care about. I've done it with
It's not
Monstress.
about
I've done it
that,
with
though.
I've done it with Monstress too. Or like for people who are getting into like anime, I had never failed with Death Note. So we start here. 37 episodes, whatever. They all loved it. 100% from
You-
the field.
You're not wrong, but sometimes there's special cases because some of these niggas special. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Special out there.
but you know me, like I'm not gonna like I recommend this stuff to like people with like I recommend it to people in general, but my point is like Glam brain works, so like I'm good.
It may work, but that don't mean he wasn't gonna hate
Could
it.
I
don't
could
know.
I give this to Wing? No, I cannot. That he'll come with some weird backwards take. That's not moving me. So you gotta know who you're talking to. But I hear what you're saying. There's always that guy, that person.
Yeah, I didn't know if Glam was that guy or not. I ain't heard him say anything good about anything ever.
Vince
I ain't gonna-
hasn't seen me rave about my Western media enough.
Wait, Glam. How do you because this we talked about it when we were talking about like different like races and like the other things, but when it comes to Nastikas and like even like their genders, even like potentially giving like different abilities and stuff like that, how do you like that like concept? Because I know you're big on like even wanting to see Vitra when he's in female form.
Yes, unlock the transcendental. I need it. Good.
I mean, it's like
It's whatever to me. Not a big deal.
I'm not. The ability to change your gender isn't something that moves me because it seems like the Nastica only do it for power scaling reasons. Like it's not.
Yes.
The only time you try and find any meaning out of an ability like that is if they tried to do it while interacting with different people in different settings with different genders, and then you can talk about trans allegories and all this other kind of shit with that because that's really the only reason you do it. But that does not seem to be the case. It just seems like you're born like this, but you also have the ability to change your gender if you want to become stronger. And most Nastica are just like, I'd rather just be the way I am, which I think sort of speaks to the Nastica in general, where they're like, yeah, they're confident in their own abilities as they should be.
I don't know why I thought you were
Considering
saying it was social commentary. I don't know why. I'm
Uh,
sorry, keep going.
And I guess it's important. And I guess it's important for like their gender stuff for their kids and like if depending on how they
Yeah.
want to like
because the Breacher clan is all male. And I think Breach is the only one that can change his gender as well.
If I remember correctly, they
Yes.
lost their emotions, and then in the other gender, Vitra has access to like their transcendental, right? Whatever it's supposed to be, or was it?
I
in
read
female
somewhere
form.
that-
It's seal. I gotta look at it again.
I read somewhere that Vitra in female form was just as strong or as close to as strong as Ananta was. That's what I saw somewhere.
I think that's cap.
I don't
I
know
think
if that's
hard
cap or not, but that's what I
hard
saw.
cap.
I saw the gas being given to Vitra in female form. I was like, is this bitch just different
Because
in female form?
because my thing is, I'm sorry, no one's fucking with Anata. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Ashu, he doesn't.
Nada has the goods.
Ashu, he's not particularly interested in that. I think he wants to focus on the webtoon. So, but he said if he likes Taksaka, maybe he'll read the Finite. So, he might not even read it.
Oh,
Clan attribute and hair attribute.
does it affect
East
Vitra?
might catch up soon too. East, like my East. What? I haven't started transcendental until
You might
lots
be
of genders is
right.
an interesting detail to me. That's what I remember.
Bro, I told you.
I remember they had access to different abilities. I remember the Vita Dragon clan being said that heralded as like one of the stronger clans until they lost their emotions or something like that. But again, I think I'm probably I think this JoJo reread. I'm gonna reread this right after, honestly.
So Vitra did lose his female form, right?
No, I think he still has it.
Because Asha says he can't turn female anymore, which might be true.
It might be sealed by Taraka or some other shit. This is like, for some reason, there's a fuck ton of Nastica that have their abilities sealed by fucking Taraka.
Yeah.
I said, look,
But
hold
yeah,
on,
I'm telling you, Glam. I'm telling you this now.
Vitro emerged as the
he's
strongest
not
being
fucking...
in the universe after Ananta's death.
Ananta's death.
Yeah.
That's what because I remember a statement like not stronger. That I know for is not.
Yeah.
I know that's wrong. They're not even rivaling, but there's some statement like that. You unusually for Asura, he is stronger in female form.
Yeah.
Like
Actually,
he's definitely biting.
No, Glam was
everybody.
right. Being on par with Ananta in terms of power, despite that, he prefers to stay in male form when he had.
That's what I'm. Yeah, choice. It's like in female form, like he's on par.
Wow,
I don't believe that. I still don't believe that. I would have to see.
You have to prove that to me.
because on paper, from what Anata has and can do, no one is fucking with him.
Because I don't know where that statement. I've only seen that statement in a wiki before, and it wasn't in the story up until the point.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in the story.
So it might be in the light novel for all I fucking know.
That seems like some. And
it's also because me and Miles were talking about this earlier. It's a little bit crazy that 2 Nastica are stronger than every other person in the verse, including the primeval gods.
Because I don't think Vitra's stronger than the primevals.
That shit. What the hell?
Yeah,
because like, I don't think Vitra's stronger than primevals. I think Anata's the only one that's gone beyond the creation of his like makers. Because they built Anata really to be like he's just different, and we don't know why.
Which I think works because of Ananta's personality that I've been revealed to so far. It's like he wasn't really trying to fight like that.
Due to the penalty posed by the god that all features are emotionless males and it must mate with human females to have children in general. Even orders
halves.
Yeah, the possible mating option 2 as a result of each clan is the only one with no Rakshas, Upani, or Mara descendants. The children genders depend solely on the father, so female dragon halves are rare, but most dragons have been male. Yeah, okay. I remember now.
Yeah, the long and short of it, I don't really care about the gender swappability.
I do know that it gives you access to different powers and stuff because remember, Sagara literally becomes toxic masculinity to eat her male form. So
yeah.
All dragons did. Now Wiki can only be edited by somebody. No, I'm not holding that. Like again, because sometimes even if I read something in a blog post, like you gotta prove that to me. Like again, Vitra could. I'm cool if Vitra being the second strongest serum like ever lived, but Nata level, yeah, all right.
Yeah, and also above.
Okay,
because I think me and Miles were talking about this before. There's a part of me that
Fathomless Fire. That's what it was called. There you go.
Yeah, there's a part of me that's like kind of off-put by how much stronger the Nastikas seem in comparison to the gods.
Yeah.
The primevals seem like exceptions to that, but also not at the same time. So it's hard to tell.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like a weird because it seems like to me, like if one of the rulers of the clans fought Agni, and Agni is supposed to be the strongest natural god, it seems like Agni would get folded.
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
There's like you'll because there's so much for you to still learn to understand, but you'll essentially understand with some characters. It's just like a video game or like maybe like a card game. If you can set up the right conditions and the right parameters, some characters become extremely broken in the right circumstance. Where like in that circumstance, you can't do anything to them. So almost think to akin something simple like maybe you just use like a rainy day with a water Pokemon, and then you know what I'm saying, like stuff like you set up something crazy like that. So
Yep. I might be crazy and I might be super biased on this one, but I know they were kind of hyping Sagar versus Agni, but I do think like on an average fight, I think Agni is actually beating Sagara.
Yeah, there was a statement in I think
barely, but I think he's beating.
I think season 1. I think Ryagara said that Sagara is stronger than Agni outside of the human realm. And I was like, when I saw that, I was like, you're telling me the 4th strongest Nastica in the Ananta clan is beating the number 1 non-primeval?
I gotta see it to believe.
I don't believe that.
Max neuron activation incoming, so long term they'll probably die for natural gods. I'm gonna create a section in Discord with all the blog posts in one place here. If you're like going through them, okay, that's pretty. That works.
Because
this is all one thing where like.
Thank you for being a real mod, Ashu. Not a real mod, bro. He does things. He actually does stuff.
This is one of those things where
I
like
could talk,
characters and stories make like unequivocal statements where it seems like that you can't like deny what they're saying, but they could also be unreliable narrators.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
Now,
Agni's kit's nasty.
Because that's one thing that I try to get some people to understand, right? And I like to use I think Monogatari is the best example I have of this, but it's just like you have to understand that certain statements from certain characters are not trustworthy. You don't have to take it at literally face value, right? Let's say Glam is some character of legend, right? And I'm like 20 years old, and he was born like 1500 years ago, but Miles and Vince have been alive since before even Glam was around and whatever legend he has. And I'm here telling people, yo, he kicked people through the moon. Like I don't know what I'm talking about. Like I wasn't there, and then you guys come and you could set the story straight, because it's almost like if you think Caribou said some shit like, oh, kid lost his arm to Inga Dinga and Bunga. And he's like, no, I didn't. Right? Unreliable. Some characters you can't take them at face value. Kaiki is a character. If you're following the story from his perspective on Monogatari, he's a con man. He even tells you can't trust what he's saying. You can't take it. You have to take it with a grain of salt. So don't forget that. It's a point I try to tell people a lot of times. They'll be like, well, this character said this. I'm like, this character's a fucking doofus. From the first season, that doesn't matter. Why are you giving this statement so much weight? So yeah.
Yeah, it's.
Come on, believe in my girl Shira. Nausicaa's are constrained in the human realm. Now actors after the cataclysm. Rules changed. That's a good point. I forgot about that.
Paradise or Flare go kind of crazy.
I like. There's certain characters like Agni. I can't bet. You gotta prove yourself.
Agni's really the one. He's really the one.
like, I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like, it seems like from everything I've seen, fucking nerfed Gunharva in the human form using his Sura form seems to me stronger than fucking outside the human realm Sagara in Sura form. Dead ass. And
There you go. You heard it here
like
first.
I'm dead ass, bro.
Yeah.
It may not be a stretch, and Agni was schmoovin with something like that. Like he was not like really pressed about this like small Gunharva form.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's so hard because I'm trying to think of how much weaker Gandhi actually was at the beginning.
He should be busted, like
because he was the fifth strongest.
He was weakened by the toxicity and sealed by Taraka.
Yes.
Both of those.
Also,
seem like
he's
they're
a
gone
bitch.
now.
I can't wait. I love this. I can't wait to like just have these other conversations. Like I'm just gonna be coming for his leg.
But it is crazy how much stronger the Kings are from just even the second.
Yeah, the Kings
like,
I can understand.
It's ridiculous.
But,
it's
like,
actually like huge. Like
the Kings and certain number twos of different clans I can get.
Honestly,
fuckers like Sagara and Hanuman. I'm like, dude.
Hold on.
He don't know nothing about.
I don't know nothing about Hanuman. I know Hanuman's third ranked, but I'm saying like Hanuman being head and shoulders above somebody like being like head and shoulders above somebody like Agni or Indra just rubs me the wrong way. That's just me though.
I think I got Hanuman over Agni.
My favorite god is Yama, so.
You're saying like, oh yeah, bro.
Yama's my goat.
3 Yaksha clan members are beating the strongest natural god.
You have to remember, there's a lot of Nastikas in a clan.
There's a lot.
You have half his original strength. The hates moving you.
Being top 3 is an impressive feat.
Yeah,
it's really impressive. Like I don't like.
The one thing I'll say is if Kurigam influences away where like the primevals are just as good as these guys, I'm cool with it. Because at least there's some stratification in the gods in that sense, where the naturals are.
I got primevals over all.
Like for instance, like if she said Shiva could beat every Nastika except like Ananta and Vritra, I'm cool.
I got Shiva over Vritra. Yeah, honestly.
Doesn't matter to me.
I mean, that's fine. Like I can't prove that right or wrong. That's fine. But not Ananta.
Yeah, Ananta's undisputed top 1. I'm not even going to debate that.
I don't.
If I had to give it, it would be Anata, Primevals,
Anata's
like
fart,
the rankings of Kings.
Anata's fart.
And then I have Katsuka's father as the strongest second in command, and he might whoop Garuda in a fight. Honestly, not whoop him, but he might beat Garuda.
This is like I don't know where this Garuda slander is coming from for Miles. Like this needs to relax a little
Garuda
bit.
low key, Garuda low key just be getting bitched.
Paradise Flare. Yep. Agni at his best is it beats a lot of Nasikas that have killed a lot of folks.
Glam, I'm telling you, Garuda gave
before
all his
best.
powers to his kids because his kids wrong.
I don't think Primevals are stronger than the first Kings. I think there's a strong case for that. I think with the Primevals, but the way I see them is that they're kind of a special existence, not necessarily the stronger existence. If that makes sense. But they have
Yeah.
they have a better understanding and control of all the ancillary moving parts or the intangible moving parts of the universe, even from the beginning, that maybe other characters just can't comprehend and understand because they're not necessarily creating it. So I just think they're like stronger in a different sense. Put it this way. In a weird way, it's like if you guys have ever watched or read Super, it's like Zeno. I don't think Zeno's a strong fighter. Like Goku will beat his ass in a fight, but he'll just delete him. You know, like he has like a different power set and he's like a different entity that can just this universe is mid delete. Like,
Yeah,
I see the Primevals in a kind of a realm like that.
Yeah, I think for Brahma and Vishnu that makes total sense. I think Shiva and Kali, on the other hand, should actually be like boxing.
I think they can all fight because
Well,
I think
I'm not saying like
Incense
they can use like hacks abilities. What I'm saying, like I think because there's physics, they make. I like this. And I think this is a good move on Kragon's part, where she separates physical ability from magic and also transcendentals.
Yes.
I think Shiva and Kali should be able to literally throw hands with the Kings. Personally speaking, that's just me though.
I think all of them.
I won't give Vishnu or Brahma that same credit though, because they seem like spell merchants more than anything else to me.
Yeah. And Brahma with her creation, I think, will be like something just OD. But to me, it's just one of those things of like, these guys their age is ridiculous. Like they've been around far longer than everybody else. So I think their understanding of magic has to be at some stupid level, like uncomparable to anything that you could even see.
And their fundamental forces too.
Yeah, and their magics that they do wield aren't like nature. They're not fire. They're broken forms of magic, like resurrection. Like the things they can do are OD.
But can it be this fucking headbutt? No.
I think I don't think I think physically I don't even think they're like probably trash physically. Yeah, and I think with them creating this and creating things all the time, I just would find it weird if they would create 7 beings more powerful than them. I think it makes sense if they created all these things and for some reasons, like when you create a system, one like just
makes sense.
yeah,
I think
one just becomes so powerful you're like, oh shit, we might have fucked up. But I think they're
because they intentionally gave Ananta his name with like the level of power that came with his name as soon as it happened. Like that's like shit stated in the middle of season 2.
Proof Primevals are weaker than the first Kings when wait. Is this 3rd season, Miles? Read the chat for me for a second.
I think for sure that that is 3rd season.
Like noted. I hear you. Well said. Can't repeat that right now. But yeah.
Also, I would say, dang, I have to go back. Is that in her? We don't know the current state of when these things were happening. If that makes sense, if I can keep it as broadly as possible.
But man, it's good to have more. I just need more people reading this, man. More people on this Kubera journey. Things like that.
Anything versus Vitra would be a good fight, though.
I'm trying to think of any other things I wanted to mention to you about any characters and stuff like that. I feel like Yama wasn't that prevalent in the first 2 seasons, right? So
there's one scene where he was upset that Agni bitched him out and then got Brilla's lifespan higher. That was about it.
Okay.
Because that was when it was in that same scene. It was he got introduced and then Brahma got introduced in the same scene.
Okay.
That was the only time we had ever seen actually any other god until Chandra showed up.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask you if you got any headcanons or theories of why Asha used Hati Vishnu on Teo? Or no?
On Teo, Vishnu's scroll is number 1. It's like if you do this, you then reveal yourself, then you make the trial happen, and that puts you in a position to kill one of or all three Kuberas at the same time to get yourself more power. That's probably verbatim what it's gonna be.
Okay.
For the most part,
Okay.
I truly don't think she has any personal connection that would make her want to save Teo. Honest to God.
Okay. We will revisit that when the time comes. I need to see Beyond Future. I need to see the one who's supposed to near another level of power. The Primevals run the universe. That alone puts them above everyone else, in my opinion. They may not be stronger in a might versus might sense, but impact-wise, I don't know how multiple First Kings can be above the Primevals. Again, I mean, I stand by what I said. Like, I just think they're a different type of entity in existence that's above everything, but this doesn't mean they're the strongest, you know?
Hey, Kurigan might be keeping Shiva out of the story because she doesn't want to step on the nastiest toes. That's all I'm saying.
All I'm saying is, throw her in a side story. Throw Shiva in a side story. Throw Shiva in a novel. What's up? Give me something.
So. Destruction is OD. I mean,
yeah. If Marut has all this fucking ability, I don't want to even imagine what Shiva's like.
And you know what I think will also enhance this story for a personal person. For a personal person. I said thematical themes. That's crazy. Anyways, that's insane. I can't believe I did that. But it reminds me, like, I think that if you have a really like deep kind of understanding of this mythology, I do think it probably enhances your enjoyment of it in ways like where you see where like they've pulled from this mythology and folklore, and when they've like spun certain things the same way, like for us, very simply, if you want to use like North mythology and stuff like that. So I've been slowly but surely trying to get my knowledge up, and it has been a little bit interesting seeing certain things, how Kurigan decided to like turn them and twist them, because this isn't a mythology that I honestly studied that much in high school. I had a folklore mythology like crackhead phase in high school, the same way like you guys know me well enough that when I get to something I go all the way in, like psychology. So I had a mythology phase like that.
I will say this is the best modern implementation of Hindu mythology that I've seen in a long time. Because Japan, there's certain mangas where they like to input certain Hinduistic concepts because there's a lot of crossover in terms of Hinduism and certain Japanese mythologies, but more so manga likes to use things like Kagutsuchi, Tsukuyomi, Amaterasu, that kind of thing for their gods that they draw inspiration from. This is the best usage I've seen of like Sura Deva type stuff mixed with Hindu gods in a while. Now it's very different because, for one thing, Brahma's a woman and not an old man. That like
a lot of liberties are being taken here for sure.
Yeah. It's good to see those, like, for instance, having a little more minor gods like Kubera, who is a real god in terms of Hindu mythology, and like Surya, Vayu, Varuna. You'll see those. You'll see Agni and Yama and Brahma, Shiva, Kali, Vishnu in a ton of shit.
Even Indra, I feel like a bit.
And Indra as well. Yeah. But you're not going to see
Indra's and Shiva's are the two I want to say I see the most.
But you're not going to see, like, for instance, Ashura actually being a demon and not like a multiple race type thing, which is usually what Ashuras are used as more often than not. Same Gandharva is like an actual, I think, demon of some sort. There's certain characters from Hindu mythology that I'm surprised we haven't seen yet, like characters such as Ravana or Rama, or like avatars of Vishnu, which could be a thing if she goes really hard into Vishnu's sort of stuff.
My mouth is shut. I don't know anything. I never read Kubera before in my life.
Vamana and Ram.
I have never read it ever in my life. I don't have any knowledge. Even though I read the Vishnu scroll.
What are those, man?
Yeah, Vishnu has avatars? Who would have thought?
See, I think the weird thing about, like, season 1 and 2, I think dudes have has a really, really good, like, I would say, like, a really positive, like, linear
progression.
Yeah, where like it progresses at a pretty good rate, but you can see like everything, and like I feel like you can like kind of like keep track of like the things in which it goes. But I feel like once you hit 3, just the different amount of info and things that we get literally just makes it exponential. Like there's just so much.
Listen, man, the only thing I got like fingers crossed for at this point is like ships. I need to see Yuta getting in those Lee's guts. That's what I fucking need. More than anything else. I need it.
He knows. That's what matters. He knows. I need some romance. I need some romance.
Even though Nia will hate this, I need Genharu and Teo, and I need
No,
Bro.
why do you guys do this to me with them?
I need it's
Genharu needs to make peace with his fucking self and die. Okay?
No,
die alone.
let him get some human cheeks, man.
No, that's
corner
cheeks. All right, you don't deserve that. You don't deserve that. You don't need that. I hear you though. No, I hear you. Damn, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I think season 1 is a great foundation for what everything will be built upon. And I think two. The reason that when I read the season 2 of Kubera, the reason that I stopped really I put faith in Kurigam. So I'm like, you did the one thing that matters the most to me in a story is you rewarded my patience. The long-term payoff was there. So my patience for the first season, because I still think there was some lulls there, where I was fighting to stay awake. As much as I love this shit, a bit of a slow, like an IV drip speed, it's but it's okay. It's progressing though. We're going in the right direction, and my patience was rewarded. You didn't do some nonsense where I was like, so I did all that for what? No, you actually rewarded it, so the long-term payoff was worth it, and now I respect that deeply.
Mm-hmm.
I have last question, Glam.
Mm-hmm.
Give me 3 Nastica kings and 3 gods that you really want to see more of season 3.
Gods, it's easy.
Okay.
Indra, Chandra, and Yama.
Okay.
Let's go!
Because I know Yama's the only created
Yama's my self-insert.
Yama's the only created god that I know that's 5th Zen level, so I want to see why that is and what makes him tick in that regard. But Indra and Chandra are the ones I'm super interested in. Nastica?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Shurya.
Surya, I feel like, is a character that's not going to be really heavily involved, to be honest. So that's why I'm not really looking for that.
Gotcha.
I honestly feel like there's a higher chance that Varuna is going to do something than Surya is, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Nastica, Vritra, of course, I need.
Pow pow, bang bang.
I'm waiting for Garuda personally. I've been waiting for Garuda for a while. Not even just from a scaling standpoint. I just want to see. I want to see what the dad's like for the 3 bird children.
Maruna's daddy.
I've been wanting to see that, and I don't think Ashura is gonna do anything. I don't think Kinarva is gonna do anything. I know Kinarva is in some other form right now for some reason. I don't know what the specifics are behind that, but yeah, I guess. Well, I guess Ananta is an easy one, but I know that's gonna happen. So it's like
there you go.
Yeah. So Ananta, Vritra, and Garuda are the 3, and I think I've heard that there's some more info put about Yaksha, but I'm not particularly interested in that clan personally. Outside of Ran, okay. I'm not really particularly interested.
Did I just hear Yaksha?
I know Ran has a Sura form, which is interesting for a quarter because he has some external ability there's the physical marks that he got at the end of season 2.
You're gonna when you see,
but I know he has a full Sura.
It's gonna make sense when you kind of get to it because I know that I'd argue your brain works like mine, where it's you don't necessarily register any of the information and pictures that you see, but as you understand the story more and any kind of panel you've seen before, you're able to make the connection because you know what you're seeing now. So, so that's actually why I didn't post any panels today because I almost did and I thought about you. You're like, no, let me wait. Let me wait. Final words.
This shit raw. Read that shit.
Hey, there you go. Thank you guys for joining us for these 2 little videos.
Use the go, and his scarf is in fact a dick.
he put his schlong around Lee's. Goodbye.